Maggie here, engaging in a little extreme scuba action. The producer of The Underground thought I should do my hosting for this issue from an exotic locale, and I wasn't about to turn down a free vacation. The props department left a DVD around here someplace. I just hope it hasn't become fish food. Alright, Jaws, you haven't seen a shiny piece of circular plastic, have you? I need it for my presentation. Huh? Oh, come on, guys. Yeah, that's nice. Gotcha! In this issue, SCEA's motion capture team down in San Diego shows us the ins and outs of this exciting technology. E3 is America's largest video game trade show. Meet the group responsible for designing and creating Sony's incredible booth year after year. Ever wonder how a game makes the jump from PC to PlayStation 2? The developers of Half-Life showed us how it's done. You get all that, plus demos, cool moves, downloads, and more. So check it out! Ah, another info-packed issue. Talk about your pearls of wisdom. Get it? Pearls, because it was in an oyster. What? Oh, you suck.
Over the past several years, we've seen all the incredible progress in the quality of animation in sports games. Much of that has to do with the advances in motion capture technology. We wanted to know what goes into making all the moves on the field come to life. So we talked to a few of the experts down at Sony Computer Entertainment in San Diego to find out how they created the most realistic motion capture ever.
The studio brings in talent. They suit them up in a motion capture suit that consists of some reflective markers or little balls, and they capture an animation and try to get a real lifelike motion.
And we'll bring them out and put them in front of 20 plus, cameras. Then we'll be able to capture those reflective markers, and we'll have about 43 markers on the guy at a time, and we'll capture all 43 of those markers. They'll turn into little points in space. It will then go to our animation crew.
And the animators make sure that it looks how it should look when it gets in the game, so that there's no pieces of geometry moving through each other, so that it looks dynamic enough and exciting enough for when you're sitting down and actually playing the game.
Well, not to get too geeked out here, but we wanted to know a little bit more about how this stuff works.
The cameras, when they're on, have a red strobe ring that will send light out from the front of the camera, and it will hit these markers that are set to reflect about a 3-degree angle, and that light will bounce back at the camera, and then that camera can say, hey, I recognize a reflection.
One of the biggest improvements in motion capture technology is in the frame rate.
We'll normally capture at 120 frames per second. That's good enough for punching motions, bat motions. It's just when you get a little bit longer than a bat and it starts extending on a guy's arm, 5 feet from a guy's arm, and he's swinging it as fast as he can, that's when you're going to run into some problems.
Okay, enough of the tech talk. What we really want to know is what games these guys are working on.
Our main job and our main focus is to facilitate SCEA, whether they be game day or MLB or SOCOM. Doesn't matter if it's sports or non-sports, as long as it's an SCEA game, we're available to assist.
Most of the games that we work on are sports games. We do all sorts of stuff, at least since I've been in here. We've done basketball games, football games, baseball games. We've also done a number of action games, fighting games, pretty much anything that comes to us. We can do anything where the developers need a real lifelike animation.
Well, this all sounds just a little too easy.
Some of the harder things we have to deal with is if you have two guys fighting, and if I have a marker on my chest and I cover it up with my hand, the cameras obviously aren't going to be able to see it anymore.
That tends to produce the most difficult data for us to deal with. Sometimes the computer will get confused and the markers will swap. They'll change places and it disrupts the data, and so we have to fix those swaps. Some of the stuff takes quite a bit of time to clean. It just depends on the quality of the data, depends on how complicated the motions are, and it depends on how many people are in the scene. Obviously, when we have real extreme motions, when they're bringing in stuntmen to do crazy flips and football tackles, that's really fun to work with because it's not only is it challenging, but it's just interesting to see those motions get transferred onto the computer and work with those.
But the coolest part of their job has to be working with all the professional athletes.
Cool Borders, we had a lot of the professional snowboarders coming in, which was really cool. So we captured their motions. Yeah, we have some cool names, some cool people that come through here. It's fun.
We do get kind of high-profile, famous people, athletes and stuff to come in for PR stuff, to do like football moves or basketball moves. That's always kind of exciting, interesting to meet those guys. I've worked with Donovan McNabb from the Eagles, worked with Stephon Marbury and Michael Vick. Those three mostly.
The coolest part of my job is the fact that I'm making video games and getting paid to do it. That's the coolest part. It's every day coming to work, there's something new to work with. There's new emerging technologies every day that we get to look into and play with and be part of.
Working in this atmosphere is obviously a lot of fun. I mean, we're here to make games, and everybody that works here plays games and loves games, and being involved in that atmosphere is just really exciting if you're an enthusiast like myself.
Every year, the video game community gathers at the Electronic Entertainment Expo to show off all the latest in video game technology and software. It's E3, and it's a whirlwind of action and excitement, with amazing booths and demos from hundreds of companies, including Sony Computer Entertainment America.
E3 is a show that was started back in 1995. It was actually a spin-off of CES show, the Consumer Electronics Show, and in fact, PlayStation actually was the group that got the show really started.
The exhibitors' booths at E3 are always incredible displays, but what's even more astonishing is how quickly some of them are created.
I was approached probably 2 years ago by Exhibitors Magazine to do an article, and they wanted to follow me around for a year because they were certain that it took a year to build this kind of a booth. And in actuality, we do it in 4 months, which is incredible.
So how do you design, build, and assemble a 5,000 square foot mini-city, complete with elevators, coliseums, theaters, and restaurants, in only 4 months?
We try to start out with a one-liner from marketing about what our message is for E3. Like, for instance, this year, it's live in your world, plan ours.
We're trying to develop a little bit different look and feel for the booth this year, which would be less character-driven and more technology-driven to demonstrate the games.
We feel that the graphics and the gameplay draw people into the game, and we really want to carry that immersive theme into the booth this year, rather than just having someone standing in front of a kiosk and experiencing the game on their own. We will be using different projection units that will allow a group of people to see one person playing on a game, multiplayer games being viewed from different angles, from different levels in the booth.
So the idea is that for the Planet PlayStation area, when you're up, you have one player here and one player there, and this
From then, we go to an outside design firm we have used for the last 4 or 5 years, Mitchell Mock, and he'll come back to us with as many as 10 initial concepts.
The place that we start for inspiration is, what is the information that we need to communicate? But beyond that, the actual sources of inspiration are things like fashion design or how molecules go together. We're always searching for new materials and how to use those in three-dimensional environments.
And then they'll come across with maybe 15, 20 different small models to give us an idea of what it could look like for this year. Once we hone it down to something more reasonable in terms of number, they'll go back and rework those models and maybe take parts and join things together and make something that we're all agreeing upon as a direction for the year.
Once the design starts taking shape, it's up to Pinnacle Exhibits to build it.
We then go on and produce all of the control drawings and the specifics as to how each piece will be built, and then we'll send these pieces out to the various shops around the country to be produced. As the process moves on, in working with these folks, we are getting video feedback as to the day-to-day process in the shops. We're flying out at different occasions to view pieces around the country that are being done. There are literally hundreds of people involved. Up front, when we're in the engineering phases, we have our team here of detailers and engineers and project managers. But then as it moves into other phases of work, then we get the construction workers going here, the engineers that have to certify the drawings. We have the building electricians, we have the building officials, down to the AV crews, the shipping crews, the lighting crews.
This same team has been working on Sony's E3 booth for 7 years. We wondered if they had any favorite concepts in that time.
There are so many pieces that we've done in the past for these projects that we consider to be just cool. I mean, very cool. And usually there's one specific piece in each exhibit that people really remember and we get comments on throughout the year. This past year, I think the number one choice would be the globe or the sphere that we did in the front of the booth. Video projection, 360 degrees. It was very cool.
That was something that we just flat out invented. It started out as little tiny models, and it was a marble. Somebody said, well, what is it? Then our media guy said, well, could it actually be projections inside? And from a very simple concept of a marble, it turned into one of the most difficult things that we've ever had to accomplish.
When we had tried it in advance, we had never done it with full 360 degrees of projection, and we had also never tried it with full lighting and lasers on the inside.
We had 5 huge projectors inside and 25 very hot lights, and the challenge was, how do you cool it? And we tried everything. It just wasn't enough. We finally ended up using 150,000 cubic feet of liquid nitrogen per day to keep the interior of this thing down to a level that would work. Keep it from popping, actually.
And that's not the only last-minute challenge they faced. When working on such a tight schedule, there's bound to be some 11th-hour scrambling.
The cars hanging off the wall in the GT2 section was one of the biggest challenges because those were real cars that we lifted up.
Then there was a problem with the game where we could not use this specific car anymore, so we had to develop a new car for the last slot. This is 4 days before the show. We bought a car in Los Angeles on a credit card and had it sent over. The entire car was stripped and it was turned into a motocross car. And we completely changed this car head to toe and put it on the wall in the last few days.
All in all, the booth takes 4 months to build, 104 truckloads to deliver, and 9 days to set up. But what happens to everything after the end of the show?
After the show is over, basically we have about 52 hours to take it down, disassemble it, put it back in the vans, and bring it back to the warehouse again.
The actual pieces, if they're specific to a game, we have given them to some of the developers to put in their offices or to be used at promotional events. We recently took the Jack and Daxter display from E3 to the opening of Toys R Us on Times Square. So we tried to do that.
And the rest is carefully cataloged, put into crates, and stored in the vast warehouse at Pinnacle Exhibits, possibly never to be seen again.
my trophy room.
In the video game world, there are two rival camps: PC gamers and the people who play their games on consoles. Each platform has its hits and legendary games, the ones that players have to own. The technical challenges in bringing a PC game to a console like the PlayStation 2 are daunting. And gamers on each platform have preferences that have to be overcome. When we heard that Half-Life, one of the most popular PC games of all time, was now available on the PlayStation 2, we rushed out to get the inside story.
Half-Life's pretty much a story of a guy who goes to work. His name's Gordon Freeman. He's just a pretty much average guy, though he does have a PhD. You know, he's intelligent. Black Mesa is a research facility, probably so secretive that not very many people know about it. Basically, they do a lot of scientific research on top secret stuff. He's doing some low-level work for the company. He's a research associate, they call him.
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional.
He's in this HEV suit, this environmental suit that protects him from radiation.
It's probably not a problem, probably, but I'm showing a small discrepancy. Well, no, it's well within acceptance. Sustaining sequence.
He actually inserts this new piece of material that they found on this other planet into this machine for research. Disaster occurs during this experiment, and it basically allows an alien world to come through a warp. Aliens start to come into the planet, especially all around their area.
Sierra Online, the publisher of Half-Life, knew that the process of bringing the game to the PlayStation 2 was going to be tough. To help them, they turned to Gearbox, a veteran company that made their name making mods for Half-Life.
Gearbox Software, they're actually a company down in Texas. They wanted to go ahead and get into the console market. Half-Life on PS2 is our first product on the console.
Stay back! Gordon!
We wanted to take advantage of the PS2 and its high-powered graphics chip, and we were able to put in a lot higher poly models, put in higher textures, really just made the game look a lot nicer. And we were able to add another big piece of content to it that wasn't on the PC as well.
There's a shortcut to the training area that will get you to the surface. Good luck.
That bonus, which should appeal to the hardcore Half-Life fan, is a cooperative mode called Decay.
Decay was developed specifically on the PS2. It's not available on the PC. And it's cooperative play where you play as a character, Gina, who was in the original story. You play along with another fellow scientist, and you have to run around and use the other player to actually solve some of the puzzles that you come across. You can't solve the puzzles on your own, so you have to use the other one cooperatively.
Fans of first-person shooter games on the PC often complain that controls suffer when a game is ported to a console. Sierra Online solved that problem with the PlayStation 2 in two ways.
We wanted to make sure that we could come up with something that the player was going to have a lot of fun with. We found that putting a targeting system in would make things a lot easier on some people who may have a little bit of difficulty playing with the controller. So the targeting system you can use as long as you got your cursor over the enemy, you press a button, and it'll lock on. Wherever he moves, you can shoot at him and not have to worry about aiming so precisely. Not only that, we took a few preset configurations that we thought worked really well, put them in the game, and we also allow the player to completely customize their configuration to however they like it.
On the PC, Half-Life has more mods available than just about any game, and the mods will be coming to the PlayStation 2 as well. In fact, Underground viewers will be the first to get the latest Half-Life mod, Uplink, and it's only available on the PlayStation 2.
Excellent. I'm sending the all clear, and the door should open now.
As long as you have Half-Life on the PS2, you can enter in a cheat code and put this disc in, and it allows you to play a new chapter in the Half-Life story.
The Uplink mod is hidden on this issue of the Underground, so it's up to you to find it.
Well, I seem to be seriously wounded.
Can we do this later?
Hi, I'm Dennis Chang from the 3DO company. I'll be showing a cool move today for Johnny Moseley Mad Tricks for the PlayStation 2. In this cool move, I'll be showing you how you can do rail-to-rail transfer to score major points, as well as open up an alternate path in the San Francisco level. So let's check it out. At the first set of cones, stay to the left of them and take the high road. This will eventually lead you to the alternate path in the tunnel. As you're approaching the tunnel, you can see the 2x multiplier pointing you to where you need to go. Make sure you land the first rail, and now you can do the trick-to-trick, stacking, and the rail-to-rail transfers. Make sure you land this one next rail on the side of the building. And now you'll be in an alternate path, and you have some major trick points. So for a little practice, this cool move will help you score major trick points and help you open up alternate paths in many other levels, not just San Francisco and Johnny Moseley Mad Tricks. So until next time, keep on tricking.
Hi, my name is Saul, and today I'm going to show a cool move for the game Okage Shadow King. In this cool move, I'm going to show you how to get the hand knit cap. Let me show you how it's done. To start off, you're going to need to get the message carrying bottle. I got the message carrying bottle at the lighthouse in Rochelle. I just inspected the door twice and received it. Once you got the message carrying bottle, you want to head over to the circus just outside Rochelle. Head over this bridge over to the circus area. Once you get inside the circus area, head over to this area over here. And and look for the Dreaming Circus Performer. Make sure to speak to this person. The Dreaming Circus Performer will teach you how to send messages in the message bottle. Now the bottle has been released into the water, head over this bridge. And the next thing you're going to want to do is look for the message bottle on the nearby beach. Inspect the bottle and read the message. Head back to the Dreaming Circus Performer and repeat this process 2 more times. Once you've sent the message bottle 3 times, head back to the village of Tennell and go over into the elder's house. Speak to the little sick girl, and she'll give you the hand knit cap item. The hand knit cap is a really cool item because it increases your attack, your agility, your luck, and your defense. So there you go. Have fun with your added abilities. Hi, my name is Saul, and today I'm going to show you a cool move for the game Half-Life. In this cool move, I'm going to show you an entertaining scene that you might have missed. Let's take a look. When you get to the point of the game when the guard starts following you, make your way on over to the reception area. Use your crowbar on this computer panel right here, and that'll open up these doors. Just make sure to duck when you go through these doors, and stand right about here and watch what happens.
Stay back! Gordon!
When you get out there, don't stand on the bridge, stay by the doors, and have fun. Hi, my name is Saul, and today I'm going to show you a cool move for the game Extermination. In this cool move, I'm going to show you how to get some hidden items in Underground Tunnel Area A. Let me show you how it's done. From the save terminal in Underground Tunnel Area B, head out the door. Climb up these boxes right here and onto this truck and jump over the fire. Walk down this narrow path and go through the door that you just opened. You can always bypass this full motion video here just by pressing the start button. Head down the stairs right here and go through this fence over to where the train is at. Climb up over here on the other side and go past these boxes. Notice that there's a padlock on this door. Simply use your knife to knock it off. Access the terminal right here. And as you can see, it's going to move the train over for you. Head back downstairs and through the door. And head back down to the area where the train was at. You'll now notice a hole over here that leads to a vent. Simply press the X button to enter it and climb down the vent. Here you can collect the booster shot type A. You can also collect the MTS vaccine. And more importantly, you can collect the SPR4 magazine. Now that you've collected the more powerful SPER-4 magazine and hidden items, you'll be better equipped for the upcoming battles. Good luck!